Welcome back, Legion. Today, I want to tell you about the secret to long-term athletic success. Now, the secret is actually consistency. Consistency is key. It's easier to say than it is to do. So I think everyone kind of knows that consistency is this big factor to becoming a great athlete. And when we're thinking about consistency, we're talking about being consistent with our skills training, being very consistent with our recovery, being consistent with our match play, and looking after our body in a consistent way. Now, it's one thing to say it, it is another thing to action it. How we can start to action it, though, is through the power of habits. Okay? So we need to create habits of performance. Now, there's been a lot of great books over the last couple of years that can really help us with this. One being The Power of Habit, another Atomic Habits. There's plenty of great resources on this stuff, and I urge you guys to actually go and check them out. But the idea of habits is that it makes decision making a lot easier because it is more automatic. Essentially, this is what a habit is. It's an automatic decision. It's something that you've routinely done that you just get done now. If you think about brushing your teeth, like at first, when you very first had to learn it, your parents had to kind of, force you into the habit of brushing your teeth. It was obviously for a good cause. And now you should just quite simply just brush your teeth just as a part of your morning routine. Yes, every now and again you might miss it, but majority of the time it's going to happen. It's going to have happened. Now, habits can be built or they can be broken. So sometimes we need to build good habits and sometimes we need to break bad habits. So an example for an athlete would be maybe spending 30 minutes of skill work every day. Or it might be doing strength and conditioning 3 times a week. You might have a sleep routine in place to help you recover better. You might have a specific recovery routine that you add to your end of your training sessions to help you recover better from that session and therefore be able to train harder in the next session. There is eating habits are a part of this process as well. Goals, setting goals and getting in the habit of setting process goals, which is essentially just your habit-based stuff, leading into the main goal. So these are all things that as an athlete we can start to consider, habits of performance. Now I'm going to use the structure of how to create a habit via Atomic Habits, which was written by James Clear. I think he just structures it really well, nice and simple for us to understand. I do encourage you to go and either read his book or download it as an audiobook and listen to it on your drive to work. I'm just going to discuss how to create good habits, because I think by creating good habits, you start to eliminate bad habits anyway, but he also does discuss in the book how to break bad habits, which if you need to, if it's a really strong fixated one, there is some pretty bad habits out there, such as like smoking and gambling and drinking, etc. It can be very beneficial to break that habit before we start to build good ones. But generally what I found is if we start to build good habits, it actually starts to filter out a lot of the bad habits, because to get your good habit done properly, you can't have that bad habit in the way. So the first thing is to make it obvious. So whatever your habit is, just make it really obvious for yourself. And if it is, let's say go to the gym, maybe you need to set an alarm. Maybe you need to set a reminder to tell you to go to the gym. Maybe the gym needs to be really convenient to get to. Maybe it needs to be easy to schedule into your time. Just make it so obvious that it's hard to ignore. It's like, bam, it's just there. The next one is make it attractive. So the way we can do this is you can actually pair it with other actions that you already take. In particular, if you pair it with things that you actually like doing or you need to do, then you can pair up this new habit with that thing. So it's almost like, okay, I want to go to the shops because I need to buy my food, but I might pair it with I'm also going to just treat myself and go and maybe get a new dress, or maybe get a new pair of shoes or something like that. So pair it with something that you actually like doing with something that you need to do. The next thing is to make it easy, and it's just a 2-minute action to start off with. Make it super, super easy. Keep it nice and short, something that you can get done, but maybe on a very frequent scale. James talks about habits isn't necessarily about the quantity, it's more just about the frequency. And how that's kind of different is, I guess, essentially, the more often you can do this habit, the quicker it's going to stick. So the amount of times that you can do it is important, as opposed to the amount of habits that you're actually doing. Just stick to one and do it at a very high frequency, and once that's kind of locked in, then you can move on to the next one. The last one is make it satisfying. So add a little reward to your habit. I guess we've got to be careful with this as well, is to choose the appropriate reward that actually reflects the habit. But this can slowly start to create craving. And craving is one of these things where we get this nice little endorphin hit every time we complete this habit. And if we can start to create this satisfying or effect, we're going to be more likely to do it, because we want that little endorphin hit. That endorphins is what makes us feel good. So if we're doing a habit that makes us feel good, we're more likely to continue to do it. And this is where, if you're pairing it with something attractive as well, that might be the little endorphin hit that comes with the habit that you've completed. Alright, that's just a little snapshot into it. But the importance of this one is that there is no real secrets. Consistency is the key, and habits is how we can start to create consistency. Hopefully that helped, guys. Thanks.